Testing, testing, testing. Hi, Ed Nile here, uh, author, and I'll talk about my books later. Um, Today, I want to talk a little bit about something that happened about a year ago, and I'll pull up the video right here, and it'll probably be in the thumbnail. And if you've clicked on it, maybe it's because you saw the viral video. I think it's got like 60 million views on YouTube, and I don't even know how many on TikTok. It really took off on TikTok when it came out. I didn't have a TikTok before that. I think I made one after, and then immediately stopped using it. Just didn't feel right, and that kind of ties in with a lot of this. So uh, I'm still seeing views and comments racking up, and about this moment where Star, my spouse, and I we met this band, and they had been recording, and the moment kind of got captured. They spliced it into this video. My face became kind of a meme in it because I was surprised, and this and we kind of so I just wanted to kind of give context to what that moment was, and kind of talk about how it felt to have that many people view me when I was in a context I wasn't expecting, and in a form I wasn't prepared for, at a time where I was not really prepared for it, because I had this channel beforehand, but at the time all this channel was me uploading. I think I'd uploaded like maybe one little rant about creative process, and I'd put out a couple of short videos, not so short, but some videos reading out chapters from my work, and that was it. I was just gonna, it was just gonna be book stuff, and it is still gonna be book stuff because I'm a writer first, and so let's jump into it. Okay, in early 2024, we weren't in an. So I'm gonna get a beverage in me here. If I'm gonna. We weren't in an airport, and if Star and I seemed not quite. If we didn't seem like we were losing our minds, and it seemed like a normal interaction, it's because it wasn't that unexpected. We were on our way onto the 70,000 tons of metal. We were on our way of 70,000 ton. We were on our way onto the 70,000 tons of metal music festival, which happens on a cruise ship. It takes off from Florida every year, and we were getting on, and we had to go through security screening, metal detectors, and all that. Both the artists, the bands, and the passengers all go through the screening the same. They're not separated any way. There's really no separation from artists and fans on the boat itself. So we knew we were going to run into a lot of musicians, and we knew Windrose was going to be playing. And we'd already seen them once, so we were looking forward to that. We were looking forward to Blind Guardian, a few other bands. We were seeing band members, including like the members from Blind Guardian, ahead past the metal detectors. And so we're just we're vibing on the entire experience. We're just there in the moment, and I, hear like, the nice t-shirt comment, and I turn around, and I wasn't wearing a Windrose shirt. I was wearing this vest, and I think a Rhapsody shirt at the time. And so I turn around. Okay, I turn around, and I kind of don't know what what he's talking about, because I didn't think my shirt was really visible. I look at Star's T-shirt, which it was a Windrose shirt, and look at him, and I kind of recognized him because I'd seen him at the bar at a venue I'd seen him in my local city. I'd seen him pass by in all his dwarfing gear, so I kind of had an idea of his stature and whatnot. And my mind just quickly, like in context, put together like, okay, he's Italian accent, dwarven looking. She's wearing a Windrose shirt. With a big thing emblazoned on the back that they would recognize. Oh, this is the Windrose guy, right? I didn't really recognize the other, band members. I just literally pieced it together through context. I'm like, oh, holy crap! And the surprised Pikachu face that you all saw in the video, and whatnot. And when he turned and shook his hand, and Star, like, this is her first time on this festival, so she is doing her little bow, her cute little curtsy and whatnot, saying hi. Like, she recognized them too. She just didn't like have that kind of like fast kind of like piecing it together that I did. And so that was that. I didn't know I was being recorded. I had no idea. We had no idea about any of that until after we got off the boat. We're in our hotel room. And we keep getting messages from our friends. Oh, you're all over Windrose's TikTok. So, I see a screenshot of it. I thought it was like a photo. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I realized it was a video. And so next thing you know, we're in a restaurant in Miami, just like, looking at this massive traction this video is getting. And when I say massive, like to this day, Windrose is using it to plug their tour dates, right? And the first thing is I downloaded TikTok, I went on, and I turned to Star. I'm like, honey, don't look at the comments on TikTok. Because, holy crap, the number of people who just were saying, like, she wasn't a real fan, it was my I'm 6'4", my shirt, I'm a size XXL, my shirts wouldn't, like, fit her that well. There's... it's a patently ridiculous thing, but that's the thing. It kind of took on this viral, this viral kind of what's the word? It got into the kind of normie viral internet, and people made assumptions. They assumed it was an airport. They assumed that this was our favorite band of all time. We really like them. We like a lot of bands. And, that this was completely unexpected. The thing is, if it seems like it wasn't that massive, mind-blowing an experience, it's because it wasn't that weird. We were on our way to a boat where we knew they were going to be. I was grabbing eggs from the freaking, like, the buffet line a couple hours later and saying hi to Hansi from Blind Guardian. Fucking Nanowar of Steel was on the boat, and like, we were drinking at a bar together in the Dominican Republic. It wasn't that weird. So, and of course, like, we didn't think it was gonna be this huge interaction. Now, kudos to Windrose, right? Because I know Windrose is just as shocked about how well that video did. It's their most popular short by a country mile to this day. Kudos to them for capitalizing on that and having it do so well. And they invited us out when they came to our city next. They gave us free tickets. I actually got them to... One moment. I actually got them... I think I missed like one of their members. I got one of them to sign... I have a custom-bound Lord of the Rings that I bound in tooled leather that I made, and I got them to sign it with this kind of thought that I'm going to have, like, power metal bands start to sign my custom copy of Lord of the Rings. And, actually on the boat, I brought the Soul Forge to get Blind Guardian to sign. And that was a great experience, right? And of course, because we're doing this video, this follow-up with Windrose, I decided to bring a copy of one of my books for them. I'll share my art. And so I brought my copy of Iron Strife and I plugged it. And this has been several months, but I'm not a social media guy. I mean, like, Star jumped in and left a comment. She's got 150 something thousand views and 500 subscribers. She doesn't have a single video out because I don't want to have much of a social media presence or a public presence outside of my books. Not to get too deep into it. I mean, I write under the name I write under because in part because I have crazy abusive family members that I just don't want to have interacting with my author life. Don't want finding any avenue. So I'm here torn about whether or not my face is on this, and my landlord saw it. My coworkers saw it. I had people left, right, and center approaching me. Hey, is this you? Is this you? I have messages from people I hadn't talked to in like a decade or more. People commenting, hey, that's so and so. People I don't talk to anymore. Trying to jump in. Like, I know that guy, which I'd never seen in viral comments on viral things before. And I'm here like, I didn't ask for this, but I should try to use it. I mean, it would be more apropos if I had a dwarf-themed fantasy book to market, but I hadn't written one because I didn't think a dwarf-themed band was going to thrust me and my girlfriend out into such a spotlight that we were going to be seen by so many people. Twice the population, as far as I know, of my country. It was, saw this. I was looking at the Super Bowl video of the Super Bowl halftime show for just a few days ago, and it has half the views of this little interaction that to me was a normal interaction. I see bands all the time. I had another popular famous power metal band in my hotel room once because they wanted to use my shower because they were locked out of theirs. When I was seeing a previous show. It's not like in metal, like people don't understand, like it's not that weird to run into band members. It's not like, running, if I ran into Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden unexpectedly, I would lose my fucking shit. I would probably not be able to recognize him. I would probably freeze up. I would probably just freak out. I wouldn't be able to accept the reality of it. Right? If someone who was into the Rolling Stones ran into Mick Jagger at a coffee shop or something like, but this isn't that. These are, these bands are, yeah, sure, they're popular to people like me, and they have a fan base, but they're not like, they're not superstars, right? So, so the singer for Windrose, Francisco, some Italian name, sorry, with an F, right? I met him. I should know. I think it's Francisco. Just comes up and says hi. I'm like, okay, I've met a lot of my favorite bands, is what I'm trying to say. And at the end of the day, I don't know. It's just. I just see this response, and this isn't me, I'm not complaining, even though it might sound like it. I'm expressing how, for anyone who's kind of wanted to go, like, it's, when it happens accidentally, this going viral thing, it's a surreal experience. And, when I don't know, when I'm looking through and I saw people insulting Star and, like, making all these assumptions and whatnot, it was really kind of like, just eye-opening, just, what it's like to be, in that kind of a limelight, without, like, with, frankly, neither consent nor planning. And it was a very weird feeling. And while Star jumped on the chance right away to comment on it and whatnot, I for reasons I've mentioned already, I had to step back and think about it. And I also didn't want to be that guy being like, oh, I've got like 15 minutes of fame. Here, buy my books. I didn't want to do that. I want my writing to succeed on its own merit. I don't want to have to jump on this random. I was on vacation. I wasn't trying to market things. And again, like, I'm really glad that it's led to all this publicity for Windrose, because they're a great band, and I'm definitely going to see them whenever they come by. So this is just kind of me, mostly just kind of giving some context about the whole thing and talking, because eventually I guess I gotta bring up the elephant in the room, just because I'm going to feel like I've wasted whatever this was if I don't at least try to, to plug this in with that kind of with that kind of an audience, with that size of an audience, if I don't try make an attempt to in some way, jump on that, I'm probably gonna be kicking myself, and I'm already. It's been a year, but I'm not. Again, I'm not a social media guy. I want my books to succeed on their own merit. I don't want to be that guy trying to take a little bit of internet meme fame, because internet fame is different from real life fame, and pounce on it. But I guess I have to at some point, or I'm just wasting a opportunity. So, yeah, I'm saying this because I've seen, and bless you all, I've seen a couple of comments now, people saying they subscribed and they came to my channel after seeing me on the Windrose thing. So I guess it's working in my favor a little bit. But this is because I finally did comment on the thing, and I plugged it in that other video, so people. But now I know that I let the best possible window of time go by without doing anything, and the whole thing's gonna fade. And part of me is greatly relieved. I am greatly relieved that I no longer hear people saying, "Hey, I saw you on that TikTok thing. Hey, I saw you on." It was very weird, and a little bit good weird at times, but mostly just weird. And if it can lead to some fans of sci-fi and fantasy finding my work, and people finding Windrose and enjoying it, then that's a good thing. That's a positive thing. It's a positive thing for a great band. It's a positive thing for me, and it's positive things for the readers and the music fans who find art they enjoy. And yeah, so pardon me. So yeah, that's just my statement about this. It was weird. I obviously, kind of was hesitant about attaching myself to it because, it was just, kind of, I feel almost a little bit cringy still, making this video, but people are gonna, subscribe to my channel because of it. And if you are, then what you're getting is I am a writer first. I mainly going to be talking about craft. I'm mainly going to be talking about my books, uploading chapter readings. Sometimes I go into kind of more life stuff. It's all related to my journey as a writer, as a creator, and I'm not. So that's why there's very low editing going on. I actually put out a book trailer that I edited in did that was a fair bit of work, but just a short. So if you want to check out that, you can. But yeah, I mean, thank you, Windrose, for thank you for the having us in that video. Thank you for inviting us out to getting us into the next show you were on. Plugging my book in that video, and thank you for everyone who's had positive comments about Star and I, and thank you for everyone who's recently subscribed to my channel from it. And if I sound a little bit if I sound a little bit on the fence about anything, it's not like I'm not it's weird. I'm not bitter about anything. There's no ill intent. And I never took it as any ill intent. I was just very much had a lot of attention I was not expecting. That was outside of anything I'd planned, and that was kind of not really it wasn't the kind of. Had nothing to do with my writing. It had nothing to do with the thing I actually have as my public life. It was just I was on vacation, and suddenly all these people are. Now I am burdened with. It's a very good problem to have, I guess, if you're someone who's trying to market something. It's a good problem to have a lot of people paying attention to you. And I didn't know how, for a lot of reasons, I didn't know how to pounce on that which is my own fault. And I just, you know, I don't know. That's what I have to say about it. But I'll probably try to try to convince Star to let me uh, try to plug my stuff on her channel because she got like 500 subscribers immediately, and I'm like, okay, well, Mister 36 subscribers over here needs needs some action, but I got to count my blessings. I mean, the 70,000 tons was an amazing show. I got, like I said, meeting Windrose, Blind Guardian, all these wonderful bands, and seeing all of them was great. I'm not plugging for the festival, but I'm just saying that overall, just the whole experience was so crazy and surreal. And now looking a year on, I didn't go to this year's festival. Looking on a year later, it's really looking on a year later. It's actually so it's weird to think that's been a year. Yeah, I don't know. Time's flown, and I've waited way too long to kind of bring this up because at the end of the day, it's kind of irrelevant from what I do. Not like except for the fact that yeah, it's dwarf themed metal, it's fantasy themed metal, and I am a fantasy author. Surprise, surprise, I like that kind of music. But it's different audiences, right? I know a lot of not everyone who listens to the same music as me also reads the same books as I read or that I write. So yeah. And with that said, now I'm going to plug my books. So, I am Ed Nile, the author of The Iron Shield Chronicles, which starts with Iron Strife, Iron Valor, and Iron Exiles. There are also 3 more books: Iron Fury, or Iron Revolt, sorry, Iron Fury, and Iron Ruin. These are a diesel. This is a diesel punk mech series. It's pretty much picture Gundam with Gundam if it was knocked back to World War One era of technology. It's geopolitical machinations. It's civil wars. It's just epic battles with 100-foot stomping diesel powered freaking hydraulic mechs. It is just. It's everything I wanted world building wise that I wasn't seeing in other books out there, and I've been ecstatic so far with some of the responses that have come out from the books, especially before I split them into these kind of smaller volumes. I got quite a few reviews for Iron Shield, which was the first 2 books essentially. I should have probably kept it at the Iron Shield, but I cut them up into kind of more manageable sized books because I had a lot of kind of these other connected stories like Iron Exiles and Iron Revolt that were very much related, but they couldn't really, I couldn't really number them in a series next to these gigantic behemoth 200,000 word volumes. So and my sales had dipped so low, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna re-edit and change up a couple things and re-release it with kind of updated cover designs and see how that goes. And and I've gotten a little bit of a good response off of that too. I've learned a lot. It's my first series, so and I do have the draft of the next Iron Shield book, the 7th book. The first draft, it's been kicking around for a while, but I'm not ready to edit that yet, simply because I want to wait and see if it's worth it, if people are responding to it, if the fans are asking for it enough. I will eventually, or if I have time, I'll eventually get around to that. Right now, I am very excited, and I am very happy to have finished writing Godless, Book 1 of the Zadra cycle, which is truly my epic fantasy magnum opus. And this book is special to me for so many reasons, not in the least of which I'm 34 now. This is a story I first conceived of in a homeless shelter when I was 17. This story has percolated for so long. I've gone through so many false starts and false iterations of this huge epic fantasy with, ancient gods and, strange creatures and a violet sky with multiple moons inhabited by the deities, and mountains in the shapes of dead titans, and a character who's truly lost and trying to find his way in a hostile world. A character who finds himself pursued by mad deities through on this perilous journey. I'm working on my elevator pitch. Give me some, give me some leeway here. And as you can tell, I am currently editing. This is just my editing proof, so I can make sure, I designed the cover, so I want to make sure all of that came out well. And then I'm going through and actually, fixing things up, fixing things up as I read through it, which has just always been my process. But, this is going to be out in May. And it's going to be out on Kindle, in paperback, in hardcover, and if I can make the time, I do want to record the audiobook of it and actually have it out on Audible. I've been practicing a lot with narration, and I'm a very much a do-it-yourselfer. I've done every process of my Iron Shield books. Besides, I bought the artwork for the Iron Shield books. I commissioned artists for that, but everything else has all been me. The editing by and large has been me. The interior formatting, graphic design, and this is the first book where I designed and drew the cover entirely. Every part of this book, from the cover to the symbols to the kind of the runic language, the god script, to the map, has all been purely done by me, without no AI, no nothing, just some shitty drawing programs in my tablet. And I think that's really appropriate for where this story, what place it takes in my heart. And I don't know how it's going to do when it comes out in May. I hope people like it. I hope people respond to it well. Those who do pick it up respond to it well. But this is that entire time that the Windrose kind of thing, all of that was happening. I was really, all I cared about, all that was I was happy about. The driving joy in my life was that this book was coming along well, and I was getting to write this. And while I wasn't necessarily as motivated to try to plug my existing series, a diesel punk sci-fi to a fantasy metal crowd, I think this would be more appropriate for the kind of epic fantasy power metal crowd. So maybe if you see this out and about while book shopping in May, check it out. And this has been long-winded enough as it is. So with that said, I'm Ed Nile. Peace out. You will shoot away no more. You will shoot away no more.